Mark McGowan has announced today that they intend to sell naming rights for this stadium. This is our stadium. It belongs to every single Western Australian. West Australians have paid for this stadium and the West Australian public will enjoy it for decades and decades to come. I've lived all my life in Western Australia. I'm immensely proud of this state and I know that this stadium is an iconic part of Perth. So we're not going to have a stadium taken over by some corporate entity with their naming rights, over which you've got very little control. And I'll give you one little practical example. This stadium has been designed so that at night games it will light up in Eagles colours, or when the Dockers play it will light up in purple, the Dockers colours. I don't want to see this stadium lighting up with some corporate logo or colour scheme. This is our Western Australian stadium. The other aspect is that this government has put an enormous investment into the city of Perth. Elizabeth Quay, opposed by Mark McGowan, sinking the rail line, Yagan Square, and of course the Perth Stadium. Why? Because we want to promote Perth as a vibrant capital city and as a destination. And it's this government that negotiated with Qantas and Perth Airport to have direct flights from London to Perth. Mark McGowan could never ever have negotiated that outcome. So why would you give away the naming rights to the stadium? When people watch sporting events here, AFL around the country, when they watch Chelsea play a game here worldwide, when they watch the State of Origin rugby or the Bledisloe Cup, I want Perth to be in lights. I want this to be seen as Perth, great city, great stadium. And I'll tell you another reason. The reason we chose this Burswood site was not only that it was government-owned land, and remember Mark McGowan said the stadium wouldn't work here, you know, it'd slide into the mud or whatever else. Looks pretty good to me, best stadium in the country. But one of the reasons, it gives a unique perspective of Perth. It looks back on the city and it shows the river going out in both directions from its location, and it's going to be surrounded with superb parkland. Beautiful, it's going to be the King's Park of the eastern side of Perth. And there are some naming rights in the stadium. Function rooms inside are going to have corporate names, so they've been sponsored and sold if you like. Similarly, some of the landscaping around the stadium, the parkland setting, parts sponsored in different areas by Chevron and by BHP. So we're not shy to sponsorship, but the name will always be Perth Stadium. Mark McGowan, he's not showing the passion and the true love of this state. I am so proud to be a West Australian and Premier, and I will never ever allow this stadium to have any other name other than Perth Stadium.